laughs softly, tilting his head with a crooked grin. You ever notice how people keep looking for signs, scanning the horizon, waiting for someone to appear and fix everything? Funny, isn't it? The truth is, the moment you've been waiting for is already moving toward you. Quiet, invisible, slipping through the chaos, unnoticed, because the universe doesn't announce the important things with trumpets or fanfare. It sends them silently, like a shadow brushing past your life, waiting for the exact moment you're ready to see. Laughs under his breath, voice curling with mischief. People panic when connections don't happen instantly. They wonder if they'll ever meet the right person, the one who changes everything, the one who fits perfectly into the cracks of their life. They search, they settle, they give up, not realizing that what's coming doesn't care about their timing, their schedules, or their impatience. The chosen one finds you when you least expect it, often disguised in ordinary moments, ordinary faces, ordinary chaos. Asterisk laughs softly, tilting his head, voice low and playful times. Readiness. People talk about it like it's obvious, like it's a switch you can flip, a checkbox you can tick. But the truth? Readiness is messy. It's uncomfortable. It's the quiet work no one sees, the patience no one applauds, the subtle changes inside you that go unnoticed until the moment arrives. People wait for the perfect moment, the perfect conditions, the perfect timing, as if life will pause and wait politely while they sort themselves out. But the moment doesn't wait. It moves. It finds you. And if you're not ready, it slips by unnoticed, leaving only regret in its wake. Laughs under his breath, pacing slowly times. Being ready isn't about knowing the outcome. It isn't about having all the answers or controlling every detail. People mistake preparedness for certainty, but real readiness is embracing the unknown. It's stepping into a space where the future is invisible, where you can't predict the outcome, and moving anyway. It's training your mind, your heart, your instincts to respond, to adapt, to seize, when the right moment finally arrives. The world doesn't deliver on a schedule, and it doesn't wait for panic or perfection. It only rewards the prepared. You see, humans are obsessed with timing. They want to see the road ahead. They want to map the steps. They want assurance that everything will align exactly as they imagine. Asterisk laughs softly, voice curling with mischief times. But life doesn't work that way. The important things, the life-changing moments, the encounters that define you, they arrive quietly, unpredictably, often disguised in ordinary moments. You either notice them or you miss them entirely. And noticing them requires readiness, the kind you build in silence, in shadows, when no one else is watching. Asterisk laughs low, eyes glinting. Times, most people panic when they feel unprepared. They hesitate, they question themselves. They let the moment slip because they weren't paying attention to the invisible work that could have prepared them. Being ready is about doing the work before the moment even appears, about sharpening your instincts, strengthening your resolve, and aligning your heart to recognize what's coming. The universe, or whatever force you believe, guides the unseen, is patient, precise, and merciless. It rewards readiness and punishes the frantic. Preparation, patience, awareness, they are all threads of readiness. You can't fake it, and you can't rush it. People waste energy hoping for sudden insight, for miracles delivered on demand, for clarity without effort. But the truth is, readiness is built quietly. It's the long nights of thinking, the self-discipline, the introspection, the failures and recoveries no one sees. It's the invisible muscles you build in the shadows so that when the moment arrives, you don't flinch, you don't stumble, you step in and own it. Asterisk laughs softly, tilting his head times. Fear is the enemy of readiness. People freeze when uncertainty appears, when the timing isn't theirs, when the unknown presses against them. They worry that they are not enough, that they are too late, that they will miss the opportunity. But real readiness thrives in uncertainty. It moves forward even when the path is invisible. It listens to intuition. It feels the rhythm of what is coming and aligns itself quietly, invisibly, before the world even realizes it's happening. Readiness also requires patience. People want everything now, and in their desperation, they miss what is slowly making its way to them. They panic when the clock ticks too slowly, when answers don't arrive on demand, when life seems indifferent. But the universe doesn't reward panic. It rewards the patient, the calm, the observant. It delivers to the hands and hearts that are ready to receive. And that is the cruel joke most people never understand. They think the delay is punishment, but it's actually preparation. Asterisk laughs softly, eyes drifting times. Recognition is the final piece of readiness. You can prepare, you can be patient, you can sharpen yourself endlessly. But if you cannot recognize the moment when it arrives, all that work is wasted. People stumble over this more than anything else. They see the opportunity, the encounter, the arrival, but they are not ready to acknowledge it. They freeze. They hesitate. They doubt. Readiness is being awake, aware, and alert enough to notice when life delivers the unexpected and bold enough to step into it without hesitation. And the irony, the delicious irony of it all, is that readiness is invisible. People never see it being built. They don't see the patience, the quiet work, the invisible preparation. But when the moment arrives, when the chosen one, the opportunity, the life-changing force steps into your orbit, readiness is everything. It's the silent weapon, the unseen edge, the quiet power that separates the ones who thrive from the ones who watch, powerless as life moves past them. Asterisk laughs quietly, voice curling with dark amusement times. Most people never understand this. They chase the visible, the loud, the obvious. They panic at the invisible. They misunderstand the quiet work as wasted time, the waiting as failure, the patience as weakness. But those who truly grasp readiness, they thrive in silence. They move in shadows. They recognize the moment before it arrives, and they take it, whole, with no hesitation, no doubt, no fear. Asterisk laughs softly, tilting his head with a crooked smile, times. Awareness. People think they know what it means, don't they? They imagine it as some simple, polite understanding, like noticing a shadow or a passing stranger. Funny, isn't it? True awareness is not polite. It's not easy. It's not obvious. It's a sharpened blade, a quiet observer, a mind tuned to the whispers of the unseen. Most people stumble through life half asleep, missing the subtle shifts, the hidden signals, the quiet movements that actually matter. And the irony, the cruel, delicious irony, is that those very things they ignore are the forces shaping everything around them. Asterisk laughs under his breath, pacing slowly times. Awareness is uncomfortable. It requires watching without blinking, listening without interrupting, feeling without turning away. People panic when reality doesn't match their expectations, when life throws chaos instead of order, when the unexpected knocks at the door. They want explanations, guarantees, safety nets. They want to sleep while the world moves. But awareness, real awareness, doesn't allow that. It forces you awake. It forces you to see the patterns in the noise, the subtle alignments in the chaos, the invisible threads pulling life toward its designs. You see, most people are terrified of noticing. They want comfort, repetition, predictability. They avoid looking too closely, afraid that if they see clearly, the illusions they've been clinging to will crumble. Asterisk laughs quietly, voice curling with mischief times. But the moment of recognition, the one that changes everything, only comes when awareness meets opportunity. You can't stumble into life-changing events half asleep. You can't recognize the extraordinary if your senses are dulled by distraction or denial. Asterisk laughs low, eyes glinting times. Awareness demands attention, focus, and patience. People panic when they think they're missing something, when they worry that life is passing them by while they're not looking. But awareness is not frantic. It's not desperate. It's still sharp, precise. It notices the subtle nudge, the quiet approach, the invisible shift that announces the arrival of what you've been waiting for. Most people are too busy screaming at life to see it. The prepared, the patient, the aware they see it instantly, and they step into it like they were always meant to. The cruel beauty of awareness is that it can't be taught by shouting. It can't be forced, begged, or demanded. People waste years chasing loud signs, big events, obvious gestures, never realizing that life speaks in whispers, not roars. The chosen ones, the opportunities, the unseen forces, they move quietly, unnoticed by the panicked, the impatient, the distracted. Awareness is the bridge between invisibility and recognition. Without it, everything passes you by while you stare at the wrong things. Asterisk laughs softly, tilting his head times. Awareness is also a test. It tests your patience, your clarity, your ability to see through illusions. Most people fail. They confuse noise for signal, distraction for destiny. They cry, they flail, they curse the timing, the chaos, the silence. But the truly aware, they notice the subtleties. They feel the patterns beneath the disorder. They read the cues others cannot. They step forward at the exact right moment because they were watching when no one else was. You see, awareness is not passive. People assume it's waiting, observing, doing nothing. Asterisk laughs slowly times. But awareness is active. It sharpens the senses, strengthens the instincts, aligns perception with reality. It's quiet work in the shadows, unnoticed by the world, invisible until it's suddenly undeniable. And when the arrival comes, whether a person, a moment, or an opportunity, the aware are ready. They recognize the significance instantly, move with precision, and claim what others miss entirely because they weren't watching. Asterisk laughs softly, almost a whisper times. The irony is that most people spend their lives avoiding awareness. They bury themselves in distractions, in comfort, in noise, thinking that ignorance will protect them. But the universe has a sense of humor. The unnoticed moves in while the distracted remain blind. The chosen one, the life-changing moment, the fortune quietly approaching, they find the aware. Not the panicked, not the desperate, not the distracted. Awareness is the lens through which chaos reveals its design. and most people never hold it steady long enough to see. And the delicious truth? Awareness isn't glamorous. It doesn't announce itself. It doesn't ask for applause. Most people will never recognize it in themselves. But when opportunity appears, the aware see it, understand it, and step into it with the calm precision of someone who has been watching all along, waiting all along, and quietly preparing for the moment that the unobservant could never even imagine. Asterisk laughs softly, voice curling with mischief times. And that's the power. Awareness doesn't just let you see, it lets you act. It lets you seize what others miss. It positions you in the invisible currents of life, ready to receive, ready to recognize, ready to move when the invisible finally becomes undeniable. The unprepared will stumble, panic, and miss. The aware will step forward, calm, precise, unstoppable, because they were watching all along, and the world, in all its chaos, has finally delivered exactly what they were ready for. Asterisk laughs softly, tilting his head with a crooked smile. Timing. People think they control it, don't they? They make plans, set schedules, and convince themselves that if they just hustle hard enough, the world will bend to their clock. Funny, isn't it? Timing doesn't care about your desperation. Timing doesn't care if you're ready or scared or screaming at life to hurry up. Timing moves quietly, invisibly, with a precision that no human effort can force. And the ones who understand it, the ones who truly respect it, are the ones who get the impossible, the miraculous, the life-changing moments that everyone else misses. Asterisk laughs under his breath, pacing slowly times. Most people panic when the moment seems late. They think being first matters more than being ready, that arriving too late means missing everything. But timing is not about the first step. It's about the right step. It's about showing up when the invisible currents of life align perfectly, when the chaos finally dances in sync with opportunity. And oh, the irony is delicious. Those who wait, who watch, who move in rhythm with the unseen, they are the ones who catch what the impatient never even see. You see, humans are obsessed with control. They want schedules, guarantees, proof that everything will land exactly as planned. Asterisk laughs quietly, voice curling with mischief times. But life, the real game of chaos, doesn't answer to schedules. It doesn't pause for panic or begging. The moment that matters, the person who's meant to arrive, the opportunity that can change everything, it comes when it comes, silently, without announcement, without warning. And only those ready to recognize it can seize it. Asterisk laughs low, eyes glinting times. Most people fail at timing because they confuse hurry with readiness. They rush, they panic, they scream, thinking the clock is against them. But the universe, the invisible forces that orchestrate life, they aren't hurrying. They're precise. They're deliberate. And they reward the ones who move with patience, who observe the chaos, who align themselves quietly until the moment is undeniable. The impatient will always miss. The careful, the patient, the observant, they step in, and the world bends in ways that seem impossible to everyone else. Timing also requires awareness. People overlook the signs, the subtle hints, the invisible nudges that signal the arrival of something extraordinary. They wait for fireworks, for alarms, for dramatic gestures, and life laughs quietly behind the curtain. The chosen ones, the opportunities, the invisible forces, they slip in unnoticed, appearing in ordinary moments that the panicked would dismiss as irrelevant. But the observant see the pattern, sense the rhythm, recognize the alignment, And when the moment hits, they move seamlessly, naturally, as if it were always theirs. Asterisk laughs softly, tilting, his head times. Most people misunderstand waiting. They see it as stagnation, as loss, as punishment. But waiting is preparation. It's refinement. It's the invisible sharpening of the mind, the heart, the instincts, so that when timing finally strikes, they don't stumble, they don't hesitate, they don't miss. Waiting trains the soul to recognize opportunity, to align with the invisible currents, to move precisely when the unseen opens its hand. You see, timing is cruel to the frantic. The ones who panic, who beg, who flail, they are never in sync. Life passes them by, silent, invisible, while they chase illusions that vanish before they can grab them. But timing is generous to the ready, the ones who are calm, observant, patient, and aligned. They are swept into moments that feel orchestrated, moments that seem miraculous, moments that change everything because they were prepared when the invisible decided to act. Asterisk laughs quietly, voice curling with mischief times. Timing is also about courage. People hesitate because they fear missteps, fear failure, fear the unknown. But the right moment demands boldness. The invisible will not wait for trembling hands or hesitant hearts. Those who step forward, even unsure, even afraid, often find that the timing has already worked in their favor. Life rewards movement in alignment with the unseen, not panic, not overthinking, not desperation. The cruel beauty of timing is that it cannot be rushed, and it cannot be manufactured. People spend lifetimes trying to force it, trying to manipulate it, trying to make it bend to their will. But timing laughs at them. It dances in the shadows, it waits patiently, and it lands perfectly only for the ones who are ready, aware, and observant enough to step in when it finally decides to strike. Asterisk laughs softly, eyes glinting with dark amusement times. Most people never understand this. They try to chase, to control, to scream at the world for faster answers. But timing doesn't respond to panic. It responds to patience, to awareness, to readiness. The invisible forces, the universe, the moments that matter, they are precise, inevitable, and utterly indifferent to desperation. And the ones who move in rhythm with them, they seize the impossible, the extraordinary, the life-changing, while the rest stare from the sidelines, baffled, bewildered, and always too late. Asterisk laughs softly, tilting his head with a crooked smile times. Presence. People underestimate it, don't they? They think showing up is enough. They think being seen is the same as being ready, that existing in a place counts for something. Funny thing is, it doesn't. Presence is not physical. It's not a posture, a costume, a face in a crowd. Presence is energy. It's awareness. It's the invisible signal that tells the universe you are here, ready, capable, and aligned. Most people stumble through life as ghosts, unaware that simply existing does not attract what they desire. The world doesn't respond to those who drift. It responds to those who occupy space fully, consciously, with every fiber of their being attuned to the unseen currents around them. Asterisk laughs under his breath, pacing slowly times. Most people panic when they feel invisible. They think they must scream louder, move faster, demand attention, or force recognition. But presence is subtle. It doesn't clamor. It doesn't beg. It radiates quietly, deliberately, like a shadow slipping past chaos. People who truly have presence don't need permission, applause, or acknowledgement. They command attention by simply existing fully, completely, aware that life's invisible strings are being pulled in their favor, even when no one else notices. You see, humans are obsessed with proving themselves. They hustle, they brag, they flaunt, desperate for recognition, desperate for confirmation, desperate for validation. Asterisk laughs softly, voice curling with mischief times. But the right moments, the life-altering encounters, the chosen ones, they don't respond to desperation. They find the calm, the aware, the present. Presence attracts the invisible. It pulls opportunity from the shadows. It aligns the unseen forces in ways that panic and noise can never accomplish. Asterisk laughs low, eyes glinting times. Most people confuse presence with action. They think movement alone is enough. They rush, they flail, they overcomplicate. But presence is stillness and motion at the same time. It's clarity in the storm, calm in chaos, focus when everything else screams confusion. People without presence are swept aside by the currents, unnoticed, while those with it glide into the perfect moment, the perfect encounter, the perfect alignment that transforms everything. Presence also demands awareness. People miss it because they are too distracted, too absorbed in the noise, too busy seeking signs in the wrong places. The universe doesn't broadcast the important things with neon lights. The chosen ones, the unexpected gifts, the invisible hand moving toward you, they slip through ordinary moments, unnoticed by the inattentive. Presence allows you to perceive the invisible, to sense what others overlook, and to act precisely when the opportunity arrives, like you were always meant to. Asterisk laughs softly, tilting his head times. Most people misunderstand waiting. They see it as stagnation, as insignificance, as failure. But presence is built quietly, invisibly, in the shadows of life. It's attention paid to the unseen, awareness tuned to the subtle currents, energy aligned with the rhythm of what is coming. While others panic, complain, or collapse under the weight of uncertainty, the present person grows, sharpens, waits, watches, and thrives. You see, presence is also a test. It tests patience, focus, awareness, and courage. People hesitate because they fear misalignment, fear error, fear being overlooked. But the truly present move with precision and confidence, even in uncertainty. They understand that life rewards those who occupy their space fully, those who breathe, feel, and act in harmony with the invisible currents moving around them. Those who panic, flail, or drift are left behind, watching the extraordinary unfold for someone else. Asterisk laughs quietly, voice curling with mischief times. Presence is subtle power. It doesn't announce itself. Most people never recognize it in themselves. But when the moment arrives, whether it's a person, an opportunity, or a shift in life, the present are ready. They notice what others overlook. They act where others hesitate. They claim the invisible gifts that the distracted, the panicked, and the absent never even see. And the irony, the delicious, cruel irony, is that presence cannot be forced, begged, or fabricated. People waste time trying to impress, manipulate, or demand recognition. But the universe responds only to the quietly aware, the energetically aligned, the ones who occupy their moment fully, who sense the currents before they become visible, who move when the invisible finally announces itself. Asterisk laughs softly, eyes glinting with dark amusement times. Presence is the invisible force that turns ordinary life into extraordinary encounters, that transforms timing into opportunity, that allows the chosen ones, the unexpected fortune, the invisible hand moving in your favor to find you precisely when you are ready. And most people never even notice that they are missing it, wandering through life like ghosts, while the world bends toward the ones who are fully, undeniably present. Asterisk laughs softly, tilting his head with a crooked grin. Times. Belief. People think it's simple, don't they? They imagine it as a thought, a hope, a fleeting wish whispered into the chaos. Funny, isn't it? Belief is not fragile. It's not polite. It's not something you can half-heartedly perform and expect the universe to bend to your desires. True belief burns invisibly inside you. It shapes perception, sharpens instincts, aligns intention with unseen forces. Most people fail because they think belief is passive. They sit, they hope, they wait for miracles, oblivious to the invisible fire that must already be raging within before anything remarkable can find them. Asterisk laughs under his breath, pacing slowly times. Belief is uncomfortable. It demands patience when the world screams for speed. It demands faith when logic questions every step. It demands courage when doubt circles like vultures. People panic when results don't arrive. They demand proof, evidence, signs, guarantees, as if the universe owes them clarity. But belief thrives in the invisible, in the quiet corners of uncertainty, where preparation meets readiness, where opportunity moves silently toward the patient and the aligned. You see, humans are obsessed with certainty. They want schedules, formulas, directions, step-by-step instructions. Asterisk laughs softly, voice curling with mischief times. But life, the unseen, the invisible, does not respond to demands. It responds to conviction. It responds to those who hold unshakable belief, who carry it in the quiet corners of their mind and soul, even when the world seems indifferent, even when chaos threatens to unravel everything they thought they knew. The moment of arrival of opportunity, of the chosen one, of fortune recognizes the belief that has been cultivated silently, invisibly, over time. Asterisk laughs low, eyes glinting times. Most people confuse belief with wishful thinking. They pray, they hope, they ask, but they do not trust. They do not act. They do not build the invisible infrastructure inside themselves to recognize and receive what is coming. Real belief is active. It's a silent force that sharpens awareness, aligns timing, heightens perception. It prepares you, invisibly, to recognize the moment when the invisible finally becomes undeniable. Without it, the arrival slips past like a shadow in the night, unnoticed by those too timid or too distracted to notice. Belief is also resilience. People falter because they allow doubt to creep in, small and poisonous, whispering that the universe is cruel, that they are undeserving, that nothing is coming. But those who truly believe deeply, fully, without reservation, allow doubt to fuel them, to sharpen them, to align them with the invisible currents of opportunity. They do not stumble. They do not panic. They act when the invisible signals are clear, because belief has already built the bridge between the unseen and the visible, between chaos and destiny, between anticipation and arrival. Asterisk laughs softly, tilting his head times. Most people fear belief because it demands risk. It demands vulnerability. It demands that you commit to something invisible, to something uncertain, to something outside the reach of logic or proof. They want safety, predictability, guarantees. But belief thrives where risk exists. It grows in uncertainty. It thrives in chaos. And when the chosen one, the opportunity, the invisible hand arrives, those who believed fully are ready to receive, to act, to seize, to transform the invisible into the undeniable. You see, belief is also patience disguised as fire. People grow impatient. They cry, they complain, they wonder why life has forgotten them. But belief knows the invisible timing. It trusts the hidden forces. It recognizes that arrival, like a silent shadow, moves with precision and only reaches the hands and hearts that have cultivated the quiet, invisible conviction to receive it. Most people give up too soon. They surrender to doubt. They panic. But belief endures. It waits, it sharpens, it aligns, silently, invisibly, irresistibly. Asterisk laughs quietly, almost a whisper times. And here's the delicious truth. Belief is invisible to everyone else. People will scoff. They will mock. They will say you're foolish. But the invisible currents do not respond to their noise. They respond to the quiet, steady, unwavering belief you carry when no one is watching, when the world doubts you, when the shadows grow long and uncertain. The chosen one, the opportunity, the life-changing moment they find those who believe, not the desperate, not the panicked, not the distracted. And the irony, the cruel, intoxicating irony, is that belief is both invisible and undeniable. People never see it being built. They don't notice the silent fire, the invisible alignment, the patient cultivation of readiness and awareness. But when the arrival happens, when the universe delivers, when the chosen one steps into your life, belief manifests as power, as recognition, as the bridge between the invisible and the tangible. And those who carried it quietly all along, who endured doubt, who refused to surrender, they are ready to receive, to act, to claim what the world has quietly aligned for them. Asterisk laughs softly, eyes glinting with dark amusement times. Most people never understand this. They chase signs. They demand proof. They panic when the invisible moves silently. But the ones who believe truly, unshakably, invisibly, step forward. When the moment arrives, calm, precise, unstoppable, because they have been preparing in shadows, cultivating conviction, and aligning themselves with the invisible currents that guide everything to its inevitable, extraordinary conclusion. You know what's funny? People pray, they beg, they scream into the silence, hoping someone up there is listening. But tonight, tonight is different. Tonight, the silence is cracking. The air feels heavier, doesn't it? Like something, or someone, is on its way. You cleaned your soul, lit your candles, said your prayers, but deep down, you still wonder, asterisk, will he really come? Asterisk, what if I told you he's already walking down your street, footsteps echoing closer with every heartbeat you try to hide? Faith, it's a strange thing, isn't it? People think it's just a quiet little whisper, a soft murmur in their hearts that tells them everything will be okay. But it's not quiet, is it? No, faith is a scream. It's that raw, gnawing need that eats at the edges of your mind when you're staring into the dark and wondering if anyone, anything, is listening. You see, faith isn't polite. It doesn't wait for permission. It barges in like it owns the place, twisting and turning your every thought until the world feels a little less empty. And that's when the game begins, the real fun. When you have faith, you're playing a game no one else can see, a game that only you can feel. And the rules? They're written in whispers and shadows, in the corners of rooms where no one dares to look. You ever notice how people talk about faith like it's some kind of soft, warm blanket you wrap around yourself to feel safe? Ridiculous. Faith is a mirror, and it's the mirror that shatters every illusion you've held on to, that forces you to look at the raw, jagged pieces of yourself and say, yes, I'm ready. And when you do that, when you finally step into that madness willingly, you open a door. And not just any door, a door that leads to a presence you can't bargain with, a presence that doesn't knock politely. It just walks in, filling every corner, every crevice, every quiet little thought with a weight that's thrilling and terrifying all at once. The funny thing is, most people run from it. They tiptoe around faith like it's some delicate flower they're scared to crush. But faith doesn't tiptoe. Faith is a storm. And if you stand still long enough, if you stand raw enough, it'll catch you, swirl around you, and carry you somewhere you didn't even know you wanted to go. And that's the beauty of it, isn't it? The way it sneaks in when you least expect it, dragging everything behind it that you thought you understood, everything you thought was real. You can't fake faith. You can try, of course. People do it all the time. They wear their faith like a mask, smile in the right places, nod at the right moments, but it's hollow. You can feel it in the air. The difference between the ones who are pretending and the ones who've burned themselves in the fire of true belief. True faith smells like sweat and chaos, like a secret that's too dangerous to tell, and it hums in your bones, a vibration that shakes the world just enough to remind you that something bigger is moving, something that doesn't wait for your permission. And that's the thing about divine presence. It's not polite, it's not orderly, it doesn't wait for you to line up your little ducks. It comes because faith calls it, because faith is the invitation, the loud, unrelenting shout in the void. The stronger the faith, the louder the shout, and the harder it is to ignore. People think they can earn it, that they can tip the scales with good behavior or quiet prayers. But faith isn't transactional. It's magnetic. You feel it first, that pull, that sense that something is coming, something that will not just touch you but rearrange you entirely. And the delicious part, the part that makes the whole thing so wickedly fun, is how unpredictable it is. Faith doesn't tell you how it's going to show up. It doesn't promise a neat, tidy little package. No, it shows up in ways that make your head spin, in moments that make your heart pound, in ways that remind you that life is chaotic, messy, and absolutely absurd. You can stand there, staring at the empty streets, the quiet rooms, the dark corners, and you can feel it creeping in. Faith isn't asking you to understand it, isn't asking for your approval. It just comes because you dared to believe, because you dared to stand, because you dared to make yourself a little vulnerable to the impossible. And once that door cracks open, once that first whisper brushes against your mind, the whole game changes. You're not just living anymore. You're dancing on the edge, teetering between what you think you know and what you're about to discover. And every step, every breath, every heartbeat is electric with possibility expectation. It's a dangerous little thing, isn't it? Most people tiptoe around it like it's some polite guest that might overstay its welcome. But expectation is a predator, a deliciously twisted force that gnaws at the edges of your sanity until you can't help but lean in just a little closer just to see what's coming. You see, when you expect, you're doing more than hoping, more than praying, more than whispering your little wishes into the void. You're screaming into it, laughing at it, daring it to respond. And the universe loves a challenge. It sees you, heart on fire, eyes wide and unblinking, and it thinks, interesting, let's play. People don't realize that expectation isn't passive. They think they can sit quietly, nod along to the prayers, do all the right rituals, and somehow expect the world to tip its hand. But no, expectation is the hand that reaches out first, the hand that drags the unseen closer, pulls it across the threshold into your messy, trembling little life. When you expect, you're opening doors that have been bolted shut for centuries, doors that rattle and groan under the weight of possibilities you can't even begin to imagine. And that is intoxicating. It's funny how most people shy away from it. They're terrified of expecting too much because they've been taught to fear disappointment, to fear the hollow echo when nothing answers back. But expectation isn't about guarantees. It's about daring to look into the dark and laugh, daring to put your hand on that cold, unyielding doorknob and twist it anyway. You feel the tremble? That thrill that shoots straight down your spine? That's life noticing you, life taking a step toward you, life whispering in that soft, maddening way that something is about to change. And it's too big, too raw, too wild for you to tame. When you expect, you're not just sitting around waiting for miracles like a timid little mouse. No, you're a conductor in the chaos, a mischievous architect of your own fate. Every heartbeat becomes a signal flare, every breath a call that reaches into corners no one else can touch. Expectation turns your ordinary, cluttered life into a stage for the impossible, a theater where reality shakes its head in disbelief and wonders how you got so bold. And the beauty of it, the beauty is in the tension. That delicious electric tension that makes your hands sweat, that makes your stomach twist, that makes the air itself feel alive because you are expecting. And expectation never goes unnoticed. Most people close their eyes and hope. They whisper timid prayers. They cross their fingers. But you lean into it. You let it curl around your mind like smoke, letting it fill the dark corners, letting it ignite sparks in places you didn't know were waiting. Because when expectation takes root, it doesn't just sit quietly. It moves, it shifts, it rattles the doors of reality until something gives. And it will give in ways you can't predict, in ways that make your knees shake and your teeth chatter and your mind spin like a carnival ride you can't get off of. And here's the real kicker, the twist that makes it all deliciously dangerous. Expectation feeds on audacity. The bolder you are, the louder your heart beats, the wider your eyes open, the more unhinged your belief in what could come, the more the world leans in, curious, intrigued, almost amused by your temerity. The universe doesn't reward timid little pokes and polite requests. It rewards the ones who dare to expect, who dare to laugh in the face of emptiness, who dare to say, I know something's coming, and I'm ready for it, whether you like it or not. And when that door finally creaks open, when that first shadow of what you've been daring to expect brushes against your life, the rush is intoxicating. It's a dizzying, chaotic, overwhelming flood that throws you off balance and makes you feel alive in ways you've only dreamed of in those quiet, lonely moments when you thought no one was listening. Expectation doesn't just invite miracles. It drags them in, kicking and screaming into your messy, trembling, little reality. And there's nothing polite about it. It's raw, it's real, it's wild, and it's utterly addictive. Silence. It's a tricky little thing, isn't it? People think it's empty, a pause, a waiting room where nothing happens. But silence is the loudest sound you'll ever hear if you're brave enough to listen. It hums beneath your skin, curls around your thoughts, wraps your heart in a tight little cage and shakes it until every hidden corner of yourself trembles. Silence before miracles isn't absence, it's preparation. It's the quiet hum before the storm, the soft, sinister lull that lets you feel every inch of anticipation crawling through your veins like electricity. You see, the world has a way of drowning out the magic, of shoving noise and chaos and distraction into your ears until you forget that something extraordinary is possible. But silence cuts through it all. It's sharp, it's precise, it waits. Most people fear it. They fill it with chatter, with movement, with meaningless busyness, because silence stares back. And when it stares back, it sees everything. It sees the lies you tell yourself, the cracks in your courage, the corners of your soul you thought were safely hidden. But that's exactly why silence is sacred. It's the testing ground. It's the crucible where faith, expectation, and desire are heated and twisted until they're strong enough to call something greater into existence. And the funny thing is, you don't even realize you're standing in it. You think you're just sitting, just waiting, just breathing. But every second in that quiet builds pressure. Every heartbeat in that stillness adds weight, and suddenly, the air itself begins to tremble. Miracles don't like noise. They don't respond to frantic pleading or impatient tapping. They come when you stop yelling at the world, when you stop demanding and begging, when you finally stop trying to control the chaos. Silence is the invitation, the empty stage, the open hand that says, "I'm ready." And oh, the irony is delicious. People are terrified of waiting, terrified of stillness, terrified of nothingness. But that's exactly where everything begins. That's where the unseen starts to stretch, to lean into your reality, to peek through the cracks you didn't know existed. You can feel it if you pay attention. That tiny, unsettling pressure, that hum beneath your ribs that says, something is coming, and it's bigger than you thought. Silence amplifies it. It doesn't hide it. It makes every pulse, every breath, every twitch of your nerves a signal flare that reaches into corners of existence most people never visit. And when you finally accept the quiet, when you let it fill you instead of resisting, you start to notice patterns. You start to hear whispers. You start to feel touches of possibility that weren't there before. Or maybe they were. You just couldn't hear them over the screaming of the world. It's hilarious, really. How people rush, how they chatter, how they fill every moment with noise and nonsense because they're afraid. Afraid of being still, afraid of being seen, afraid of feeling the raw, unfiltered pull of something greater brushing against their lives. But miracles, they need that sacred pause. They need the hush, the trembling expectation that comes from silence, the delicious tension that hums like a live wire under your skin. Without it, they're just potential, just a shadow waiting to be noticed. With it, they erupt into existence, jagged, chaotic, beautiful, unstoppable. And here's the twist, the part most people miss. Silence isn't empty because it's quiet. It's empty because it's hungry. It wants attention. It wants your awareness. It wants your surrender. You can't force it, can't manipulate it, can't bribe it with good intentions or polite prayers. You have to step into it willingly, to let it seep into your bones, to let it shake you down to the marrow and leave you trembling and exposed and perfectly ready. And the best part? Once you do, once you let the hush take hold, every nerve, every thought, every pulse is amplified. Every hope feels sharper. Every fear feels bigger. Every heartbeat feels like it's about to summon something that has been waiting silently just for you. Most people flee from it. They run. They talk. They fill the air with meaningless noise because the quiet is too intimate, too dangerous, too real. But for those who linger, who dare to wait, who let the silence crawl over them and settle into every corner of their mind, oh, the world shifts. The air changes. The shadows lean closer. The impossible begins to stretch its fingers into the edges of your life, and you feel it, the tremor, the brush of what could be, the prelude to something utterly unstoppable, and it hums in your bones. Preparation. It's funny how people think it's all neat little checklists, clean lines, and polite organization. Preparation isn't tidy. It's messy. It's the careful stacking of chaos into something that looks like order, the way you sharpen your edges until they can cut through the ordinary and invite the extraordinary to step through your door. People don't realize it, but the universe doesn't just wander in casually. Oh no, it strolls by, sneers at the clutter, and only knocks when it senses you're ready, truly ready, for the madness of miracles to collide with your life. That's what preparation does. It's the subtle whisper that says, I'm not afraid of you. Come closer. I dare you. Most people hate preparation because it's hard. It's uncomfortable. It demands that you confront the chaos inside yourself, the corners of your mind you hide from, the dark little impulses you deny. But that's exactly the point. Preparation is the act of taming the storm inside long enough to handle the storm outside. It's sweat and tension and effort, the kind that makes your bones ache and your heart pound and your mind question why in the world you're bothering at all. But you keep going, because somewhere in that deliberate madness, you know that if you do it right, if you push yourself far enough, if you carve the space carefully and thoroughly enough, something is going to appear. Something that doesn't knock politely. Something that doesn't wait for introductions. Something that is drawn irresistibly to the scent of readiness. People want miracles handed to them, don't they? They want sudden, chaotic bursts of brilliance to land neatly in their laps. But it doesn't work like that. Miracles aren't polite. They don't land where chaos reigns. They come to the places where the cracks are sealed, where the floors are swept, where the soul has been sharpened and tempered by effort and anticipation. Preparation is like bait for the invisible, a signal flare that says, I've done my work. I'm waiting. Come find me. And the delicious, wicked part of it is that the universe notices. It always notices the ones who put themselves through the quiet, the work, the relentless shaping of their own lives. You see, preparation isn't just about cleaning your room or organizing your desk or memorizing lines or rehearsing routines. That's the surface. The deep, seductive part of preparation is the inner work, the sharpening of the mind, the alignment of the heart, the readiness to face the unpredictable, the dangerous, the miraculous without flinching. It's confronting every fear, every doubt, every hesitation, and daring them to step aside while you stand naked in your intent, perfectly poised for the arrival of the impossible. And oh, the timing is exquisite. The universe doesn't rush, it doesn't bargain, it doesn't announce its presence in advance. It waits, like a predator, like a trickster, watching to see who is ready, who has the nerve to hold themselves upright, who can stare into the void and not blink. Every action you take, every effort you make, every drop of sweat you pour into preparation becomes a signal. A subtle vibration that runs through the air and reaches the corners no one else dares to enter. Corners where the extraordinary lingers, pacing, waiting for someone brave enough to answer the call. It's intoxicating, really, the way preparation changes everything. Ordinary people become magnets for the extraordinary. They stumble into opportunities that feel preordained. They meet forces that seem like coincidence, until they realize nothing is coincidence. The universe doesn't just notice the prepared, it can't resist them. It leans in, brushes against them, shakes them awake, and throws them into the dance of chaos and blessing that most people spend their lives running from. And the beauty, the delicious, dark beauty of it, is that preparation is a private affair. No one sees the long nights, the rehearsals in the mirror, the careful tending of thoughts, the silent sharpening of the spirit. It's lonely, yes, painfully lonely, but it's also sacred. It's in that solitude that the seeds of visitation are planted, watered, and ready to burst through the walls of your life at just the right moment. Every note, every practice, every careful step you take builds a resonance, a frequency, a vibration that the unseen simply cannot ignore, because it recognizes itself in you, and when it finds you, when it finally crosses the threshold, it's unstoppable, overwhelming, intoxicating, and utterly transformative gratitude. Such a small word, isn't it? Tiny, polite, almost insignificant when people toss it around, smiling and nodding like it's just another social convention. But true gratitude, true gratitude is sharp. It cuts through the nonsense, through the chaos, through the layers of fear and doubt and uncertainty, and plants you firmly in a place no one else can reach. People think blessings are about luck, about chance, about being in the right place at the right time. But the truth is far more delicious, far more wicked. Blessings need an anchor, a tether to hold them close. And that tether is gratitude. Most people resist it. They think they're waiting for the perfect moment to feel thankful, for the flawless day, for everything to line up neatly before they bow their heads and whisper, "Thank you." Ridiculous. Gratitude doesn't work like that. It doesn't wait for perfection. It thrives in the cracks, in the chaos, in the raw, jagged, messy parts of your life that make you want to scream. That's where it grows strongest. That's where it wraps itself around your bones and refuses to let go, dragging blessings along with it whether you're ready or not. When you are truly grateful, even for the smallest, most insignificant things, you start to shift. Oh, subtly at first, like a shadow creeping across a wall, unnoticed, unremarked upon, but slowly, inexorably, your perspective changes. You start seeing patterns, seeing threads of possibility you couldn't notice before because your mind was too busy whining, too busy hoping, too busy trembling. Gratitude tunes your senses to a frequency the ordinary cannot touch, a frequency that hums and pulses, a vibration that the universe recognizes immediately and cannot resist. And once it notices, it begins to respond, bringing gifts you weren't expecting, coincidences that feel like orchestration, opportunities that feel preordained but are simply the natural response to your anchored energy. It's intoxicating, isn't it, the way gratitude turns your life inside out. One moment you're stumbling through the shadows, teeth gritted, nerves raw, heart pounding from all the chaos, and the next moment, something shifts. You feel lighter, sharper, more alive. Because the act of acknowledging, of truly feeling the weight and beauty of even the smallest blessing, becomes a lever. It pulls the unseen closer, bends chance around your fingers, and opens doors that had been locked in silence. You can almost hear the universe laughing, amused by your audacity, delighted by your awareness, and it leans in, brushing against your life with a force that is subtle but undeniable, chaotic but exquisitely precise. And the wicked part, gratitude doesn't just attract more blessings, it transforms them. A simple gift, a whisper of good fortune, a fleeting moment of luck becomes something enormous, something impossible, something you can feel vibrating in your chest like a pulse of pure energy. It's as if the universe leans closer and says, "Ah, you see me. You see what I'm doing. You understand." And when you understand, oh, the effect is exponential. The more you anchor yourself in gratitude, the more the blessings pile up, because nothing likes to be ignored. Nothing likes to be unseen. And gratitude is like a beacon that refuses to be missed. Most people treat life like a checklist, like a ledger to balance, like a problem to solve. But gratitude, gratitude flips it all on its head. It makes life a game of notice and response, a dance of awareness and surrender, a chaotic, beautiful interplay between what is and what could be. It makes you alive in a way that fear, anger, ambition, even love cannot. Because gratitude anchors you in the moment while pulling the infinite toward you, creating a tension that hums with potential, a vibration that shakes the world in subtle, delightful ways. And here's the real joke, the part most people never get. Gratitude doesn't ask for recognition. It doesn't demand applause. It doesn't care if anyone else sees it, because it knows the effect is already happening. Every whisper of thanks, every quiet acknowledgement of what you have, every fleeting pulse of appreciation pulls something unseen closer. It prepares the stage, clears the way, sharpens the edges, and when you least expect it, the blessings arrive, cascading into your life with the inevitability of a storm that has been building quietly, secretly, waiting for the anchor to hold firm, waiting for you to stop trembling and start noticing, because once you do, once you do, the world has no choice but to respond, to bend, to deliver, to lean into your gratitude with the force of everything it has been holding back. Fear is a marvelous little trick, isn't it? It sneaks into the shadows, curls around your heart, whispers sweet little lies, convinces you that everything you cannot see is out to get you, that the world is a cage, that you are small, that you are weak. People run from it, scream at it, try to drown it in distraction, in noise, in endless little tasks that keep them busy enough to forget that it's there, lurking, patient, hungry. But fear isn't the enemy. Not really. No, it's a spotlight, a test, a barometer for how badly you want what you say you want. And the moment faith steps forward, fear begins to tremble. The moment faith takes charge, it realizes it is not in control anymore. And oh, how deliciously chaotic that is. You see, Most people think faith is quiet. They think it's soft, polite, like a whisper or a gentle push, some kind of nice little thing that makes you feel warm inside while life goes on unchanged. Ha! Faith is a weapon. Faith is fire. Faith is the kind of chaos that sweeps away the nonsense, the hesitation, the trembling little doubts that fear clings to like a parasite. When faith takes hold, fear loses its grip, because faith doesn't negotiate, it doesn't compromise, it doesn't back down. Faith laughs at the shadows that used to terrify you, and suddenly those shadows shrink, twitch, and fade like a bad hallucination after the lights turn on. Think about it. Fear is loud, obnoxious, convincing. It tells you you're not ready, that you're too small, that you're doomed, that the world is a cruel joke with you as the punchline. And it can be very persuasive if you let it speak alone. But faith speaks in a way that shakes the very air around it. It doesn't whisper, it doesn't beg, it asserts, it claims. It says, I am here. I will move mountains, bend the invisible, call forth the impossible, and fear realizes it is powerless against that. Fear can't touch what believes without hesitation, can't harm what has declared itself untouchable in the quiet, unrelenting fire of faith. The beauty is in the collision, the delicious tension between them. Fear thrashes and protests, trying to hold on, trying to convince you that you're still weak, still small, still trapped. But faith is relentless. It doesn't care about the theatrics, the whining, the little protests. Faith steps over, around, through, bending the rules, bending reality, bending you in ways that terrify you because they are so alive, so chaotic, so utterly beyond comprehension. And as faith grows, as it takes root, as it pumps through your veins like liquid fire, fear becomes a joke, a shadow of what it once was, a timid little echo in a canyon that has been filled with light and motion and power. Most people never experience this because they never let faith take the wheel. They clutch it timidly, feed it polite words and hollow rituals, expecting it to perform miracles like a trained animal, neatly and on command. But real faith, real faith laughs at the script. Real faith tears up the pages, tosses them into the wind, and writes its own rules in the chaos of your heart. And the moment you allow it to lead, fear has no choice but to retreat, to shrink, to curl into corners it can no longer inhabit. And you feel it, the release, the pulse of freedom, the exhilarating terror of stepping into a world where nothing is certain, but everything is possible. And here's the delicious part that people rarely notice. The absence of fear doesn't make life safe. Life is never safe, but it makes life yours. Every risk becomes a thrill, every unknown a playground, every shadow an invitation instead of a trap. Fear fades not because the world has changed, but because you have. Because faith has sharpened your senses, aligned your heart, tuned your mind to a frequency that fear cannot penetrate. It hovers at the edges, still whispering, still twitching, but it no longer dictates your steps. You are dancing on the edge of chaos, laughing in its face, and every heartbeat echoes with the knowledge that faith, unyielding, relentless, untouchable, guides you through the madness. And the final irony, the delicious, wicked truth, fear isn't gone. It never fully disappears. It lurks, it teases, it reminds you of its existence to keep you sharp. But you don't flinch. You don't bow. You don't crumble. because faith has taken charge, has claimed the stage, and you are no longer a puppet to shadows. You are alive, electric, chaotic, unstoppable, and every step you take is proof that the world bends, not to fear, but to the audacity of a heart that refuses to yield, a mind that refuses to doubt, and a soul that refuses to shrink. And the shadows, oh, the shadows, they shiver, they curl, they fade. Because faith has whispered the secret no one dares speak aloud. And fear finally understands that it is the apprentice, not the master,